Well, hello and welcome. I am Dr. Jessica Bueller. I am a doctor of chiropractic and I have additional certifications in acupuncture and in allergy elimination technique. And I live in the middle of nowhere, South Dakota, which some of you do too. So not so far away near Oneida. I'm married to Matt, who's a farmer, and we have 5 kids from 5 to 17. And yes, we're in the crazy season of life. So I was first introduced to this when I was first introduced to this company, just a little bit about my story. I was familiar with some of the components and I was familiar with the pathways that were involved because I'm really pretty nerdy at heart. And my one of my best friends had a scary diagnosis. And in order to help her from afar, I was in charge of her nutrition. So I had researched these pathways, um, and I remember not long before she passed, praying like many people pray for something more powerful, for something stronger, for better tools, for a better outcome, for a miracle, really. And I remember thinking that prayer went unanswered. And then I was introduced to this, and I saw the potential when I saw that the components of each of at that time our 2 activators were 1,800 times more effective than taking the components separately with NRF2, and 2,000 times more effective with NRF1 than taken separately. And at the time of my friend's death, she was taking 9 of those 10 components in therapeutic doses without that power of potency. So I knew that if I could help just one person to not go through what she went through, that it would be worth it. And honestly, I still feel today that moral obligation in my soul to share this with people. And so I hope you'll see the massive amount of information that I'm going to try to give you in a really dumbed down version in the shortest amount of time, that you won't get like overwhelmed by the science, but also be like super intrigued with what this can actually do in the body. And at that time, I really wasn't thinking about me, you guys. I started Rolodexing patients I had struggled getting answers for. Like, people come to me when they can't find answers. They don't come to me as their first stop. Well, some do, but it's for those that are still just looking, right, and searching for answers. And so I have a lot of challenging patients, which I'm okay with, because challenging means we just haven't found the right thing for you yet. And so I wasn't thinking of me. I was thinking of other people and what this could mean by cleaning up the health of their cells. And in that, though, of course, I don't recommend anything I don't take as well. So I started all the products. And what I noticed too was that I had my own massive transformation in my own health. And I was struggling with hair loss, which you would never guess today. And I had acne that I didn't have in my teens. And there's legitimately nothing on my face right now except like an eyebrow brush and mascara. And if you see me, which Megan's seen me, like, this is just me. This is what I'm like every day. But my hair was falling out, and all of my labs were normal. I had some rashes that I couldn't get to go away. I couldn't lose weight no matter what I did. I woke up feeling tired all the time, like always tired. And I would have coffee in the morning and I was okay with coffee again in the afternoon. And just always looking for that thing to kind of like get me through doing all the things. I was still doing the things. I just didn't feel like I had the energy when I was doing them. And all of that changed once I was activated myself. So it's really just been not only that potential of helping others, but that transformation for myself as well. So we are going to talk about LifeVantage, which is the activation company. And so we got to talk about activation. So with activation, what we do is we are able to turn on pathways in our body. So with supplementation, we bring something to a cell that it doesn't have enough of. So we fulfill a deficiency. And with activation, we're able to go into what God created within us and literally flip the switches on our genes the right way so that we express health. So that's why it's so much more powerful, because we're able to use what was already there and just like express it a little bit differently. So just a little backstory about the company is that we began in, we started with a Nobel Prize winning scientist who formulated our first activator in 2003. But before that, he had spent his career studying antioxidant enzymes. Everybody's heard of antioxidants. We know that they're good for us, right? And he discovered one specific one called SOD, superoxide dismutase. It's one that our body produces, and that's what he won his Nobel Prize for. And he is the formulator of our Protandim NRF2, our little yellow activator. And it was shown to lower oxidative stress on average 40% in 30 days. So in 2003, we had one peer-reviewed published study funded by the company that made that claim. And in 2005, ABC did a primetime investigation on the company because that was a claim that had never been made before that and still hasn't been made since. So you know, those ABC prime times were made to debunk claims, right? They weren't made to reinforce your claim. But John Quinones had a 45% reduction in just 2 weeks. And so immediately following that, there was a flurry of media attention, and major universities and institutions started doing their own self-funded research on our product. Again, unheard of, not only in this industry, but in any natural supplement. That just doesn't happen for you. So we were on retail shelves, places like Walgreens and GNC, except no one knew what an NRF2 activator was, right? I mean, have you heard about that before here, right? Like I hadn't heard of it, and I studied nutrition. Like we've heard of activating our bank cards, and that's about it, right? Like call and then they turn it on and then it works. And that's essentially what's happening in our bodies, but we just have never heard of that term. So people weren't buying it. The company was going nearly bankrupt with what Washington State University had said was potentially the most therapeutic and preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine, sitting on the shelves and no one was buying it. And so they hired a marketing consultant, and the marketing consultant said, this is a product that has a story that needs to be told. This needs to be in direct sales. And the scientist said, absolutely not. There's a bad reputation attached to direct sales, and I will not have my product in that industry. They did a 6-week trial. Direct sales won by over 300%, and we've been in direct sales since then. We're publicly traded on the NASDAQ, and we still have all of those studies to show what we do. So what is oxidative stress? Why would you want to lower it by 40% in 30 days? Well, first thing is we all have it. It's basically damage within our cells. It's the beginning of aging, the aging process, which we are all going to age, but we want to age in a delightful way, right? Like we don't want to be suffering as we age, and we definitely don't want the detrimental effects that we see that come with aging quickly. So what causes this is the release of free radicals within our body. They bombard and bump into our cells and cause damage. Think of it like the oxidation of an apple. If you cut an apple in half and leave it on your counter, in a day, in a week, in a month, it's going to look pretty bad. That's what's happening in our cells. So what happens? What causes the release of free radicals? Well, digestion, breathing, drinking water, exercising too much or too little, toxins, radiation. Everyone has it. Like you need some amount of oxidative stress. You don't want to get to zero, but we all need less of it. And uncontrolled oxidative stress, if you go to pubmed.gov where doctors do their research, you can type in oxidative stress and anything you might be experiencing, and you can see what pulls up for studies. But if you look at this, you can see all systems, all cells are subject to the detrimental effects of free radicals and oxidative stress. So if you look at the system, you can see what the potential is. Alzheimer's, inflammation, different forms of arthritis, diabetes, melanoma, you name it. You can search all of that and connect your own dots. So Protandim NRF2 Synergizer is a combination of 5 components. You can see them across the bottom. And like I told you about my friend, you could be even taking some of these, but the combination has a synergy that is unlike taking the components individually. So what we see and how we lower that oxidative stress on average 40% in 30 days is by increasing our body's own production of antioxidant enzymes. We are literally able to, with this protein messenger, when we activate it, it goes into our cell and it flips on those genes. One of those genes is our antioxidant response system, where we start producing our own antioxidant enzymes at a rate of 1 million every single second. With antioxidant enzymes like superoxide dismutase and catalase and glutathione, which are far more powerful than any antioxidant you could actually consume. So even though they've added antioxidants to everything, and they're plentiful in fruits and vegetables, which you should still eat, this is just totally different than the opposite. The National Institute of Aging did a 10-year study, and we were the only natural product proven to extend lifespan. So this is the amount of years that you're alive and healthy. Look at, if you took the components separately, what they do to that pathway, and then look at what happens with this synergy of our components, 18 times more effective. These are the places that have done the research. There are now over 30 peer-reviewed published studies. This slide is a little outdated, so I apologize, but they are all in PubMed.gov, and you do have access to these. But places like Harvard, we're in the Journal of the American Heart Association circulation. At the time of that publication, it was the only natural product ever featured in that journal. Not even fish oil made that journal, and everyone's heard of fish oil. This is just Washington State University, Ohio State, Louisiana State, just really reputable. If you hear nothing else besides Protandim NRF2 before you left here, I would be like, thank you, God. This is something everybody deserves to get the chance to hear about, right? And like I told you, this quote from Washington State University, it still kind of gives me a little bit of chills when I read this. Potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. And this is not just about NRF2 activation. This is our specific patented product that they researched with their own funding. So the LifeVantage didn't stop there, and they have other incredible activators that I want to tell you about, but not as intensely as we just went through. Like you just went through like Science 101 there. So it's going to get a lot less crazy. But really that the distinction is activation turns on parts of your genes. And when you're able to turn on parts of your genes, you clean up your cells. And when you clean up your cells, healthy cells will lead to healthy tissues to healthy organs to organ systems, and organ systems to humans. So we're not looking to treat an end condition, symptom, or disease. We're looking to get back to the health of the cells. And when we can make healthy cells, we can make healthy humans. So activation is the key thing. And it's what makes these products so incredible. And it's fast for some people in the first month, and for some people it's month 3 or 4, and for some people with things that have been there even longer, it might even take a year before they're at this incredible position. I had a guy in his 70s who had been taking NRF2 and NRF1, and then our collagen came out like just over a year ago, 16, 17 months ago. And he had been taking it, he added it to his NRF2 and NRF1. And he told me this story because he follows me on Facebook and reads anything that I write. And he told me that it was on month 11 for him that his blood sugar started balancing. He stopped getting up in the middle of the night to pee. He could go longer during the day without peeing. And he's like, and you said something about pelvic floor once. And he's like, I'm not going to go into details, but things are just different for me in a lot of ways. But it was month 11, you guys, of taking it, but he's in his 70s. And it was just what he thought was what was going to be his normal for the rest of his life. And so I always remind people, you know what, the body is intelligent, and the time frame is all up to what you have going on and how your body responds. And that's unique to you. It's not like it has to be in this cookie cutter, everybody do the thing, and this is when it happens, right? It's all dependent on you. So speaking of um, our collagen by itself is crazy incredible. And I was not even excited that we were coming out with a collagen, because I had recommended collagen for 15 years and never seen anything dramatically different in people. But enter activated collagen, and it's completely different. So this has 10 collagen peptides, which supplements for deficiency of collagen. Our collagen production starts to slow in our 20s. We all know this because we can tell it, right? In our skin and in our joints and all the things, right? Hair, skin, and nails and joints are kind of what people knew collagen to be beneficial for. But it's so much more than that. And very few collagen actually have 10 types, and the 10 types provide different benefits. Again, another story for another day to get into all that details. But if you just think about collagen as part of every lining in your body, your brain lining, your gut lining, your skin, it creates a barrier, it provides support, it's part of your fascia, your pelvic floor, your all of the things that could be aligning, it is there. And with this, we not only supplement with those 10 different peptides that are already chopped up so your body can easily process them because it's liquid and hydrolyzed, but we also activate genes to increase our collagen production and another gene to slow the collagen degradation. This is so huge. So our results have been massive with this collagen, especially when added to our NRF2. These are some pictures. This is my friend Maria's thighs and her eyes. My friend Sean, men have seen changes too. My husband's is pretty dramatic as well. Look at this neck. And these are in a short period of time. This is one of my favorites, this day 1 to 15. This is Kim. And Kim had, what you can see is her exterior change in 15 days. What you can't see is she lost her mom about a year before this and had been in, I'm not going to call it a condition, but let's just call it, she kind of lost her spunk for a little bit, right? And within these 15 days, she found herself like singing in the kitchen, and like she just had her zippity doo dah back. And if you really hear the story of how she really felt like she was her old self again in 15 days, adding this to her stack, it's crazy to me, the transformations like that. So this combo of NRF2 and collagen, we just have a study that's, this combo is in the process of getting patented, and our study is in the process of getting completely published. But the combo is getting these massive results because its impact on our master switch for our stress response through this NF-kappa B, 33% reduction in that pathway. So it's a balancing effect on our response to stress. Look at all these different, I know this is overwhelming, but there's all these genes involved. These genes are what are studied in things like autoimmune conditions, our innate immune response, so many things. Like this stuff is like, this makes me want to cry, this study. It's so big. But if you just think about it in your ability to stop the signaling to perpetuate stress. So basically, if you're on this stress loop, right? We're all in the stress cycle. And now you can interrupt the stress cycle so that you're not doing the same loop all the time. That's essentially what happens. It's like getting off the hamster wheel of stress. Another one of my favorite activators is our brain activator. And this Axio drink. Like I'm drinking it warm right now, in the evening, the decaf variety. But this is like saying goodbye to your squirrel brain and getting a CEO's brain on board. It allows the chemicals in your brain to attach to the appropriate receptors. So in this picture, you can see the before and after of a little guy, and just 2 weeks. It's actually only like 11 days um, of taking Protandim Nrf2 and Axio. Look at that, you guys. That's so incredible. And nothing different. They didn't do anything else different. 1 Axio a day, 1 yellow pill per day. And it just allows those chemicals in your brain to attach to the way that they should be. So this is everything we have. And I like to show this slide, not to overwhelm, but just to let you know it's there. It's a little bit like, have you ever went shopping on Amazon and you buy something and then Amazon says, well, since you bought that, you might also like this. Well, that's what I kind of like to use this slide for, to let you know that there are other products that once you start seeing changes with whatever you start with, you're probably going to want to see what else we have, right? So we have NRF2 activation for skin and hair and body care line. We also have a formulation specific for your four-legged friends, your dogs. Dogs have an oxidative stress load 7 times that of humans. They don't know about placebo. They can't lie. And our dog stories are massive, you guys. Just incredible changes in dogs and horses as well, especially the ones that are used for competitive things where you can really see the changes there. But we also have some of your basic supplements, your prebiotics, probiotics, omegas. And we have also another activator for burning fat, which this time of year, everybody's looking for something with that. But really, again, what sets us apart is that ability to activate pathways in our body. And then these, with our Protandim Nrf2 here, you see Protandim Nrf2 in the front, and then you see 2 other members of the Protandim family. And we even have a patent on the 3 of these taken together because there's a synergy to the 3 of them as well. But one of them is used for a pathway called NRF1, which is for mitochondria. So if you remember back to your elementary science classes, that is your energy powerhouse. It's the powerhouse of your cell. It's what gives you energy. It's what allows you to get restful, restorative sleep. This is why a week into me taking Protandim Nrf2 and NRF1, I was sleeping like a baby, waking up before my alarm, having energy for days. It was so crazy cool. And then they came out with Protandim NAD. And NAD was kind of the buzz with the fasting, when fasting became popular, because that's where all the benefits of fasting come from. But this is like so many benefits for every system in your body as well. So these are all of our products. And, you know, if you're like me and you like to share the things that you love, which I can't clearly shut up about, and I told you at the beginning, you know, my why, but maybe you're looking for more than just a health change yourself, but maybe you're looking for something more. And I honestly didn't know I was looking for something more, but I am so glad that this business found me as well as the products, because it has allowed me the ability to impact more lives than I ever could one-on-one in my office. And it allows me to be connected with people like you that I wouldn't otherwise know or come into contact with if not for the beauty of this business model. And the glory of it is, think of the last time you went to a really good restaurant and you told somebody about it, or you bought your favorite yoga leggings and you told somebody about it, or you had a really good massage and you told somebody about it. That's legitimately as simple as this is you know, caring enough about somebody to tell them that you have something they might be interested in or that might help them. And that's it. So you also get paid to share the gift of activation with others. And so how far could you take this? So right now I am at what we would call the rank of a Premier Pro 6 with this company, which is on average $7,380 per month. But what people really look at when they look at this is the rank of our foundational rank, which is Pro 3. That's an additional $645 per month. Or our Premier Pro 5, which is $33,228 per month. So it's thinking about like, what would $600 extra per month do for you? Or what could you use that money for? I've had people that are looking just to get their own products free, maybe have some extra cash. I've had people that want to get out of their job or want to get their spouse out of their job or pay for their house payment or their groceries or a car payment. Like, I don't know where you are with your life, but just there is this potential to use this business for something more than where you currently are. So can you do this? Obviously, you can do this, and you don't do this alone. It's not like you just buy a business and you figure it out. Like, we do this as a team. We teach you how to do this. We have a system for what we do. We have an app. I build this from my phone and the nooks and crannies of my life. I was not looking for something else to do, you guys. I did not need another thing on my plate or another job. And this has been the biggest blessing. We also have trainings on skill set, mindset, and leadership. And we have a private support community as well. Erin Brockovich, who is on our board of directors, said, if you follow your heart and if you listen to your gut, if you extend your hand to help another, not for any agenda, but for the sake of humanity, you are going to find the truth. And I don't know if you've ever seen her story or the movie Erin Brockovich, but she really is really an advocate for people and for them. And so it's incredible the people that this company attracts. So what I would like you to do is to get back to whoever invited you to watch this and let them know if you're interested in products, one, or two, if you would like products, but you also are interested in learning more about the business, or three, this isn't for you, but you know somebody who needs to hear this information. So thank you for listening.